Hi everyone, welcome to the 11th edition of Zero to Somewhere. It's April 2023, and last month I finally released the app, the first version of it at least. I renamed it to Block It and Get It, and at the time I thought that was a good idea, but it's been a few days now since I renamed it to this, and I realized that's not a good idea. So probably I will rename it to something else very soon. It's really challenging actually to find a unique name for an app right now because everyone has taken all sorts of these basic phrases and these simple phrases like blocks or blockets or time blocks, which would really make great names for the app, are already taken. And I would like to at least have a name that is unique so that when you search for it, you will find it. Hence why it ended up being this long thing, which abbreviated to BitGit, which also sounded like a good idea, but then also was not. So in all of it will be renamed. If you're interested in giving it a try, I will leave a link in the description where you can get to the post where I wrote a little bit about it, how it works, what it can do, and how you can use it. And of course, if you have any suggestions, if you find any bugs, please feel free to report them onto the forum. There are separate sections for it, but just comment wherever, if anything, and I will get back to you. And yeah, so the app took pretty much all of my time last month. It left me with time for nothing else, really, because have forgotten how hard it is to release an app, to just push it out there. It seems simple in theory, just like take the code, push it up, and then it's out. But getting it to work reliably all the time on all the user for regular users without having all these development tools, it's a stretch. And it took me much longer than I thought to actually polish it up enough to get for it to be at least usable. I'm pretty sure there are still several bugs. I found several bugs personally, which I've tried to fix already, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot more. So yeah, I've forgotten this struggle of releasing things. Um, yeah, like I mentioned, no progress on the blog or the mentoring. I kept running the ads for the mentoring, still nothing. I tried to make it more focused and tried to advertise on a very specific keyword in just Europe, parts of Europe, and in Americas, and still nothing. Um, so moving ahead, I think I'm gonna stop the mentoring thing entirely. It makes no sense. I've spent quite some time trying to get it to work, and it's just really hard finding clients and then selling them on it. Um, so moving forwards, I will, and also by working on the app, I realized that it needs a lot of time. Because something I've forgotten is that no app is perfect on its first launch. All of the apps that we use right now are evolution. Like they started off somewhere and then they ended up where they are today over time. They saw how the users were using it. They adjusted and made it more better suited to those users. So it all of these apps evolved to become what they are now. And I think my app would need to do the same because it's a very subjective thing, time management. So it really needs to find its stride, and it takes time. And time, unfortunately, is not something I have much of because I only have funds until the end of this year, more or less. So, if preferably, I would like to find a way to get some money coming in by the end of this month, by the end of this year. Um, and it seems that even if this app would work, it would take a lot longer than that for it to actually get to that point where it can sustain me. So with a heavy heart, I have to admit that I have to maybe put the apps on the side and for now focus on trying to build some kind of revenue stream, something that just gets me money. The simple answer here is just to start working again, at least if not in a company, at least as a freelancer where I just do my own projects. But I would still like to try and find something on my own that I have more control over. And that was the whole idea with the mentoring, to have something that I can spend a couple of hours on every week, which would just give me some enough cash to just survive for the month. But as we've seen, it just doesn't work. At least my efforts to do that haven't worked, whether on a platform or on my own. So I need to find something else. The blog seems to be the answer, because the approach of writing posts, getting traffic to the blog, and then selling some ebook or small course through the blog is a very common approach. A lot of people have tried it, and a lot of people have gotten that to work. For them also, the timeline is longer. It's usually around 2 years, 3 years, but all of them worked on the blog part-time, whereas I will be working on it full-time, and I can go at a pace that they just can't. That does mean that I have to write something like 3 or 2 blog posts a week. And at that pace, I'll be on track to generate something almost 100 blog posts by the end of this year, or in 7 months. And with that, I hope I can get enough traffic coming into the site, and then also use that traffic, direct those users to buy something from me, effectively, some helpful book or some helpful post or helpful guide. That remains to be seen, but the idea is still the same. So I think starting this week, I will effectively pivot to spending most of my time on the blog. So far, I've tried to evenly split it between all three things: the blog, the mentoring, and the apps. But moving forward, it will be blog first, and probably blog only, I guess, and a few other things. Last week I had a bit of a new idea, which I will give it a try, but it scares the hell out of me. And the idea is to start doing live streams, to start doing weekly streams where I sort of do mentoring, but do it in public, where people can reach out to me with questions about front end. They can reach out to me with their code, which I can then review. And also we can do pair programming, where I can help them solve bugs, assuming that they trust me enough to give me control of the editor. But yeah, I think it will make a really interesting stream, because I know personally I've learned a lot more from just solving problems and just reviewing code and just diving into the nitty-gritty details. And so far, I personally haven't seen any other stream that does that. All of the streams are more like, hey, come watch me build this app or build this game. It's not really very interactive. I mean, they try to be, I guess, but the activity itself is not very interactive. Whereas with this, I would try to aim it to be interactive first, where it's all about the audience, all about what they ask, all about what they want help with. And I think it will make for an interesting stream. And yeah, and if it works, the streams are also a good way to generate some money coming in through donations and subscriptions, as they call it on Twitch. But it takes quite a threshold. You need to get to quite some level for that to start happening. There's a real big question whether I'll be able to get to that level, because to start with, both Twitch and YouTube require you to be at a certain level before they allow you to monetize your streams. Twitch has lower requirements than YouTube, but both of them are not trivial. They will require some effort. But I hope that by being very interactive and trying and just very engaging, I think I might be able to do that. And because the idea of the stream is kind of new, it might help with that as well. But I know firsthand how hard it is to build an audience online, so maybe this is all just rosy tinted glasses thinking. But it's something new to try, and at minimum, I think I will help some people, and I think that alone would be worth it for me, because right now I've spent a lot of time just getting the mentoring thing to work, and I haven't really helped many people. I've had a few people reach out to me. I told them I tried to help them, but they never got back to me about pursuing like some paid mentorship. and in this way whatever I do is actually viewable by more people as well. So it's not just one-on-one, it will be help, like even though I'll help one person, it will be it can be seen by many people at the same time, or even later, because there can be some videos or clips from the stream uh, that can be helpful on their own. So it seems like a really interesting idea, which I will try. Of course, the thing that scares me is that its interactive format means that I'm at a very high chance of making a fool of myself by just saying wrong things, and yeah, just discovering the limits of my knowledge, let's say, because of course I don't know everything, and the gaps of knowledge are very difficult to predict. So I might even pick a question which I think I know and then discover that I know nothing about it at all. So there's a high chance of that happening. But I also know that by doing this, I will learn. I will definitely learn more, and I will address these gaps in my knowledge. And then by doing so, also will make other people aware of these things that, might seem easy or like some way on the surface, but it's actually different in reality. So I will start the streams from next week. I'm waiting for some parts to arrive so that I can hook up my camera to my computer. Once those arrive, I will run some test streams, and starting from next week, I will set up the channels. I will probably create a new channel on YouTube for this as well. And I will probably create a new account on Twitch, because I haven't even used Twitch that much. So the risk factor going in is quite high, because I'm new to this space of live streams. I haven't really followed any streamers or anything of that nature. So I'm very new to this space in general. But it sounds interesting, and I think it's worth a shot. So I'll give that a try. So to sum up, my next month is gonna be primarily about the blog and about getting the streams going. And actually, from this month on, that will be my focus for the rest of the time, really. Just really build out the blog and try to build out the streams. I will see where the streams goes. If it works more or less like the mentoring and I get a viewership of none, then I will probably stop it as well. But I have a good feeling about it. So let's see how that goes. And yeah, I will catch you guys next month. It seems like it will be an interesting month for me.